بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. في البداية, first of all, I would like to thank Ahli University to give me that opportunities to stand in front of you in order to present my presentation, the MBA presentation to you. And I would like to thank also Dr. Sameh for all his support during the preparation of that subject. My subject is talking about the impact of gender differences between the employees and their managers on the employees' job satisfaction in Islamic banking sector in Bahrain. Sorry. First of all, let's think about the last 20 years according to now. We have hundreds of definitions of the job satisfaction. What we can summarize about the job satisfaction itself. The job satisfaction is a collection of the feelings, the emotions which is coming from the heart, and the things and beliefs which is coming from the brain about the job itself. What is the different aspect which impact this job satisfaction? We have a different of things. We have the work itself. We have the payment systems. We have the co-workers. We have the supervisor. We have a lot of aspects will impact the job satisfaction on that way. And what is the purpose of any organization on the world? The purpose of them is to make them their profit higher and higher and higher. So for the Islamic banks, why they are willing to make their employees more satisfied? Because many studies prove that having higher job satisfaction for their employees will make their customers high satisfaction and according to increase their profit. So a lot of studies which have studying the similarity, the impact of similarity and the differences between the gender of employees and their managers on their job satisfaction does not have a common result on that way. So we will have a various of results and these things. And why we are choosing the Islamic banking in Bahrain? We have two reasons here. The first reason is that the Islamic banks in Bahrain have a huge and remarkable development in the last 10 to 20 years. And Bahrain is considered as one of the most largest pools of the Islamic financial institution in Bahrain. So as we have explained earlier, that the similarity and the differences between the employees, the gender of the employees and their managers has no similar or common results between all the studies. So by doing our research, we are trying to eliminate this doubt between the results and try to find and try to help the Islamic banks to improve their employees' job satisfaction. So the objectives of the study is to examine or to find out the impact of gender differences between the employees and their managers on the employees' job satisfaction. The second one is to find how the employees are satisfied from the manager's point of view. Again, we will have two sections here. We will have the employees itself and we will have the managers. So by comparing the results of these two questionnaires or from these two results, we will have a common result or there will be a conflict between these two. So the literature review which is supporting was divided for three sections. The first one is talking about the job satisfaction itself. What are the factors impacting the job satisfactions? Most of the researchers divided the factors to two common factors, which is the intersex, which is coming from the work itself, like the recognition, like responsibilities, like the growth in the work itself. So most of the research also approved that missing one of these will not lead to the dissatisfaction, but having all of them or having most of them will lead to have a higher satisfaction for the employees. We will have the other factors, which is the external factors, which is coming from the outside. I mean, the payment system, which is not related to the work itself. The work of the place, the security of the place. Missing one of these factors will lead to have a dissatisfaction on the employee's job, on the employees itself. The measurement of the job satisfaction, most of the research have decided either to do the scaling questions for the respondent, or to have a direct interaction between them in order to measure the job satisfaction for them. The job satisfaction banking sector. In India and in the Greece itself, they have decided that the job, the nature of the job, the supervisor, the co-workers, and the growth is the highly factors which are impacting the job satisfaction of the employees. If we go to the second point, which is the gender and job satisfaction, here we have a doubt on all the results. No one say that the female are more satisfied than male or the opposite way. We will have several studies with several results on that way. Gender of the third point, which is the last one, the gender of the employees and management and the job satisfaction. Here we decide to talk about the theories, which is used by various of things, similar to the social identity theories and the other theories which is talk about that similarity and the demographic characteristics between the employees and their managers will lead to have a similar or a more interaction between the employees and the manager itself. So by having this theory, will it lead that having a different between the demographic characteristics will lead to have the dissatisfaction between the employees or not? So this is some examples of the literature review. The methodology used to prepare the research itself or the small paper. We have two resources for our research, which is the primary one, which is conducted from the distributed questionnaire through the Islamic banks in Bahrain. By the way, we are talking about the retail Islamic banks in Bahrain. The distributed questionnaire goes to employees and the manager itself. And the second resources was the data collected from the researches, studies, which is talking about the job satisfaction and the impact of gender differences. The qualitative data was gathered through the distributed questionnaire for the employees on the banks, and the descriptive analysis was used, the tools to analyze the data. Two types of questionnaire was distributed for the employees on the banks. The first one was for the employees itself, the other one for the manager to compare the results between them. Each questionnaire was divided to get the demographics characteristics for each one, and the second is to measure the job satisfaction for each. The Likert scale was used for strongly disagree to strongly agree for each statement in the second section, the questionnaire. Here are some of the analysis which was used on the SPSS software, which is the normality test, the Mann-Whitney test, and Kruskal-Willis. The findings of the research. Let us talk about the findings a little bit. So let's imagine we have a hierarchy ways. So let's talk about the employees itself. The research found that male employees in the Islamic Kingdom, the Islamic banks in Bahrain, are more satisfied on their job than the female itself. So if we go one step higher on that and we will compare the gender of the employee with the gender of the manager. Let's talk about the male itself. So the male are more satisfied with male manager than female managers. If we are coming to talk about the female itself, the female is the opposite way. They are more satisfied to work with a male manager than female managers. Okay, let's reach our target about the study itself. Let's see, does the similarity or the difference having a huge impact on the job satisfaction? By doing the analysis on in our result, we found that there is no big differences between in the job satisfaction between the differences and the similarity between the employees and their managers. So let's go back to the managers' questionnaires and analyze the job satisfaction of the employees from the manager point of view. So we have that female managers thought that their employees are more satisfied on their job than the male managers. So on that way, we will have a conflict or a contradiction between these two results. These are the findings of, as we said, as a summary. Okay, what can we do with the results of this? one way is we have to go with the result, and we say that we have to decrease the number of female managers, and just we will make more the employees to work under the male managers. But will it solve that issue? What we need to do it is that Islamic banking need to go more deeply and to know why the employees itself are happy to work with the male managers. So by having this research, it might be an initial or a start point to have another studies. Not only in the Islamic banking sector in Bahrain, but it can be in the government sectors and other private sectors also. As mentioned, this is the future research. We can use it as a start point for other research through the government sectors and any other private sectors. This is the last slide. I hope if you have any questions.